Hi and hello everyone. Today in this lesson, it's not a lesson basically. So your basic design syllabus has been structured in a way that there are two segments or two kind of activities that you have to be well versed with. One being practice sessions, so and the other one being your creativity based sections. Now the practice sessions are basically sets of exercises that you have to do to have a good hand control, good motion control, good manual control. So you basically are going to train your hand in such a way that whatever you think in your mind, it is going to replicate in on the paper. So that is the reason why we have this practice exercises. Architecture is a subject, but it also has a language, and if it has a language, then drawing is the language because drawing is the way we are going to communicate the ideas that we have it in the brain onto the paper and onto the client successfully. So, how are we going to do it? So, we need to train our hand, right? For that, we have set of exercises that are specifically designed in this basic design syllabus. So, it will be useful. I hope it will be useful. Now, I'm going to tell you what kind of exercises and what kind of things you're going to do and what are the things that you're going to avoid in that particular sets of exercises. Give me a second, I'm going to share the file. I hope you're able to see my screen. So this basic design comes under the subject code 25 ARC 101S. We'll look into the practice exercises. So this is the first slide. So we have three practice exercises in this slide. Okay, I'll tell you. The practice one is freehand horizontal lines. So when I say freehand lines, which basically means we are not using any tools in hand, but you're using hand as a tool to make the line. So if you see the third picture over here on to the right, you can see that the lines are made horizontally, but it's not straight, but it is almost straight, right? So this doesn't comes in one day and you have to do practice again and again. Now, what are the things that we expect from this exercise? But first we will see all the three what is there, and I'll tell you what needs to be done, what should not be done. So the second practice exercise, it's freehand vertical lines. And third practice exercise is going to be freehand grid. So where there's going to be horizontal as well as vertical lines there. Now, what and all you're supposed to do. So the lines has to be of equal thickness throughout the from top to bottom. It has to be of equal thickness. Okay, equal thickness, and it has to be equally dark in nature. It should not be light at certain area and then it should become dark. No, that is called as the line weight, and the line weight has to be equal from top to bottom or left to right. It has to be the same. Okay, and do not stop your hand in the middle. If you start a line from here to here, okay, don't stop in the middle. Usually, if you stop in the middle, then you will create a dot at that particular space or at that particular area. So that is going to like hinder the flow of line. It will not look good also. So it has, if I start the line from left, finish it till the end. Don't stop anywhere in the middle. Now, for me to get that kind of hand control, do not lay your hand on top of the table. Don't do that. Okay. What you're going to do is wrist can be there on top of the table, but don't put pressure and hold the wrist on the table. Okay. That is going to restrict your hand movement. Like from here to here only you can draw. So probably you can rest it, but not with a pressured manner. So when I rest it, little rest only. So you can drag your hand on the table, finish the line till the paper, from the start of the paper till the end, or from the start of the border till the end border. Okay. I hope you understand. So don't stop in the middle. Have a proper resting of the arms on the table, but um, do not put pressure here on the rest. Okay, that will hinder your movement. But for certain people, if you think if I'm going to keep it here, I'm going to put pressure, then train your hand in such a way that if table is there, have 1 centimeter gap over here. Then you can control your hand movement. Your hand movement is what is going to go. Now, you from a school background, you're here in the first year. So do not expect you to have perfect lines from the first. You will never get it. For certain people, it is going to take at least 10 pages. For certain people, it may take 30 pages. That is okay, but don't stop. Okay, till you get perfection, don't stop. At least something over here in the first and the third picture. Some kind of perfection needs to be there. Okay, so equal thickness, equal line weight, that is darkness, and it is going to be of equal this thing without dots. Okay, it has to be proper angle as well. So before going to this, I have also said that it has to be of 0.5 centimeter interval. Now, what you're going to do is look at the scale. Okay, look at your scale and look at the measurement for 1 centimeter. Okay, eye measurement only. Don't use your fingers, get the measurement. No, don't do that. With an eye, you have to understand what is 0.5 centimeter, what is 1 centimeter, what is 3 centimeter. Again, that kind of thing, gauging the dimension comes only in terms of practices. Okay, so you're going to, with the help of eye, you're going to put that 0.5 centimeter interval. Do not put dots and then start. Don't do that. And I'm also included that it is with varied pencil and pen medium. Your faculties are going to definitely tell you about what are the varied pencils, how it's going to be helpful, what is the use of each kind of pencil and pens. But I will show you a picture of what is that. Okay, here you can see these are the medium of pencils. The chart here you can see these are the H pencils. The center you have HB pencil. Okay, so if you see here, you have HB pencil over here. Okay, this is H, 2H, 4H, 5H, 7H. As it goes to the left side, the darkness is becoming lighter. As it goes to the right side, you can see that it is increasing. So as the number B increases, it's going to be darker in nature. As the number H increases, it's going to be lighter in nature. Now, what does the H and B denotes? Okay, usually B basically means blackness and H means um, hardness of the pencil. So your graphite of the pencil is made in such a way that this kind of tonal differences um, are the output of the pencil. Same way you also have pen. Okay, this is a medium called rotring pens, where you're going to use the pen not in a regular angle. You cannot use it in a regular angle, but you have to do it in a 90-degree angle. Okay, look at my picture. So you have to keep it in a 90-degree angle so the flow of ink is proper. If you're using a 45-degree angle or something like that, what happens is that the nib, a smaller nib over here, it breaks. So it has to be proper. Again, same thing. The lines has to be equally equal interval and other things. Okay. You also have micron pens. So it gives like the output is more or less similar to the rotring pen, but rotring pen always wins. The perfection, the professionalism comes only in the rotring pens. So this will be given by your faculties, like what kind of pens needs to be used or what kind of pencils needs to be used for these kind of practice exercises. Now let me go to the second slide. Still, six practices that will be about the lines, angular lines, this line, that line, all those things. For all those things, it's going to be the same rules only. So I'm directly coming to the freehand equilateral triangle. So how do I make a freehand equilateral triangle? So since it is equilateral triangle, we know that all the three sides, it's going to be of 60 degree. But without using protractor, you're going to take that 60 degree. How is that possible? It's easily possible. We know that one vertical and one horizontal, like X and Y axis together, it's going to give me 90 degree. Now, if I divide the 90 degree into three equal arc, okay, if I divide the 90 degree into three equal arc, I get one to be 30 degree, the second half to be the 60 degree. Okay. So what you're going to do, mark the 60 degree. So you can see a small illustration over here. I put a 90 degree angle, x-axis, y-axis. The second portion, I'm going to draw a line like this. So this is going to give me the 60 degree. Repeat the same for the two corners. If you do it for here and here, automatically it is going to join in a 60 degree on the top area. So that's how we do the freehand equilateral triangle. Actually, we need to study the freehand square first. So how it does this makes? So we know it is 90 degree when x and y axis stands together, right? Same way you're going to put a horizontal line, draw a vertical line, and that draw a horizontal line, draw a vertical line. So this is going to make a 90 degree angle. Same with this horizontal line, whatever measurements you want, again gauging sizes, don't use your ruler. Take the measurement 3 centimeter, 4 centimeter, whatever that is, draw another vertical line. Okay. Cut at one place. So what square, all sides are equal. So let's say you have taken 4 centimeter at the bottom, gauge the size, take 4 centimeter, 4 centimeter, and then put a line on top. Okay. All this has to be by using a H pencil and then darken whatever is needed alone. Do not darken it in the very start. Okay. Don't do that. Even the professionals don't do that because only if I get the intersection of lines, I'll understand where the corner reaches. Okay, so that corner, from that corner, if I have a proper thin line weight line, it will give me a good concise squares. Okay. Okay, now I'll tell you how to do the pentagons. So pentagon, when I say pentagon, it is five-sided, that we all know. Five-sided, and you have five angles as well, as you can see here. Now, how do I know what is the angle of a pentagon? See, anything, any shape is will get constructed inside a circle. Okay. And what is the angle of a circle? It is 360 degree. Now, for pentagon, you have to make five divisions, right? So 360 divided by 5. How much is the thing that you need to understand? Okay. So you will get a number. So we'll do the calculation now. How does the 108 come? Say 72, but I will put 108. You will have the same question. Am I right? Now, you have just check on this corner alone. Okay. If I put a horizontal line like this, okay, this particular acute angle on the other side is going to be 72 degree. Okay. So the acute angle is 70 degree and the angle it makes on the other side is 108 degree. Okay. So whenever someone says pentagon, it's going to create 108 degree on all the five sides. Now, how do I get 108 degrees? For triangle, it is 60 degree very easily. Okay, divide it into three half, take the 60-second line, extend it, you will get it. Now, for this portion, in order to get 108 degree, what you're going to do is look at this visual onto the right top. So you can see that 90 degree, I'm very well with 90 degree, X and Y axis make 90 degree. The other side is also, it is making a 90 degree. That's also fine. So what you're going to do is create five equal parts now. Visually gauging, same technique, visual gauging. Five equal parts, and I'm going to take the first part from the y-axis. Okay. So 90 by 5, how much is going to be? 18. Okay. I already have 90 degree on the other side. Plus 18, it's going to create 108 degree. Repeat the same procedure for all the other sides. You will automatically get your 108. Now, how will I repeat it here on this edge? What you're going to do, extend this line, make it like a horizontal line over here, Okay, draw a perpendicular like this. Extend this 108-degree line. Okay, extend this 108-degree line. To that, draw a perpendicular. To this slanting line, you're going to draw a perpendicular. So that gives me 90 degree. On the other side, I will divide it into 5 portions. Get the first portion, that is 18 degree, and I'm going to create the pentagon. Okay, now I'll go to the next slide. Okay, so this is 120 degree, very easy. As we have already seen pentagon, 120 degree is very easy. How? I already have 90 degree, plus I need 30 degree. How do I get my 30 degree? The other side 90 degree divided into 3 portion. Here you can see divided into 3 portion. Get 30 degree from the first half. So I already have 190 degree over here plus this 30. It makes 120 degree. You're going to repeat the same for the rest of the sides as well. Freehand ellipse is little critical but easy. Okay, it's very interesting to do actually because you have too many lines involved and you will feel like a real genius to create that ellipse and all. Okay, what you're going to do is you're going to create a rectangle first. Again, it's going to be freehand. Do not use your ruler. Create a rectangle. Divide them into 4 halves, one vertical line and one horizontal line in the middle. Okay, you will have 4 quadrants like that as you see in the picture. So what you're going to do is here in this middle line, divide it into any number of parts. Here it is divided into 4 parts. Okay, 4 equal parts. That's very important. 4 equal parts. You can even make it like 6 equal parts, 8 equal parts. The more the number of parts, it's going to give you a smoother ellipse curve of the ellipse. Okay, and then now to the other side here, to the vertical also, divided to the same number, same 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Same way, you're going to repeat it for all the 4 sides. Okay, now you already have 2 sets of divisions. One in the center horizontal line, you have here is divided into 4. Here again, it is divided into 4. And then on the sides also, 4 parts, 4 parts, here 4 parts, and 4 parts. Okay, now listen. So from this point, I'm going to draw radiating lines connecting these 4 that are there in the horizontal line. Okay, here I don't have to connect. It is already have touched the rectangle. So these 3 lines I'm going to draw radiating lines. Repeat the same for other 4 segments as well. Again, now from the same radiating point, I'm going to draw 4 lines over here. Okay, so now what happens? This last line, okay, gets intersected to this line. Mark a dot. This second line gets intersected to this second line. Mark the point. Same way, do it for the third. Now, if you join this point, these 3 points that we have got, and the fourth point together, you will get your curve. Repeat the same for all the 4 quadrants. Okay, what we're going to do, draw a rectangle, divide it into 4 halves. Okay, 4 quarters, 1, 2, 3, and 4. On the horizontal line, okay, divide it into any number of parts, 4, 5, whatever, but it has to be equal. Here it is divided into 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here on this also 1, 2, 3, 4. And on the sides, okay, on the side verticals again 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then if you do the same radiating pattern, it gets intersected with the opposite radiating lines. And whatever the intersection, mark dots like this and then connect them together, your ellipse will be there. All this you're going to do with the free hand only. Okay. The next is circumscribed circle. For circumscribed circle, basically means there is one shape, and the circle is around the shape. It is not inside that shape, but it is around the shape. Okay. Again, so here you can see. So draw the squares. Always start with the square. Okay. So from this square, connect the diagonals 1, 2, 3, 4. All the diagonals will be connected. Okay, and then you're going to create radiating lines like that. This half again, diagonals x is done, this vertical and horizontal is also done. Now what you're going to do, connect them from here to here. You're going to put them as a circle. Same way you can do the freehand inscribed circle as well. You know it's going to get attached only in the corners of the diameter. Mark those points. Okay. And probably in the radiating lines, you can mark the distance, same distance, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here I didn't say this. So here, when I have this diagonals and the verticals and horizontals, you have to gauge your eyes. Okay. Here you know that square is there. In this corner, it's definitely going to get connected. So from here to here, from the center till the corner, how much is the measurement that you're going to gauge in the radiating lines? Okay. If you just mark those points and then connect the lines together, you will get your uh, circumscribed circle. Same way you can do it for your inscribed circle as well. As draw radiating lines, get the measurement from O to this point, this edge, and then gauge the same measurement all around. You will get your inscribed circle. How do I do my freehand cube? Okay, it's the cube is an isometric. I know that for an isometric drawing, it has to be 30-degree on either side. So draw a horizontal line, draw a vertical line as well. So that is here. This vertical line, draw a horizontal line here. To the horizontal line, get 30-degree on either sides, 30-degree as well as 30-degree. You know how to do the 30-degree already, right? You're going to divide it into three, take the first line, radiate them outwards. And then by gauging the size, you're going to mark the measurements, how much ever is needed, cut it on the radiating line, draw verticals, 1, 2, 3 verticals with H pencil, then cut how much is the gauging size, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Then from there, you're going to connect the square on top. If you do that, the cube is ready. Okay. Same way you can do the cuboid. Measurements alone is going to change. For pyramid, you're going to repeat the same steps as the cube. First do the cube. Okay. And then what you're going to do, from each corner of the bottom square, you're going to draw a line to the center of this. How do I get the center? Draw a diagonal on the top of the top. I mean, on the top square, draw a diagonal. Okay. Wherever it intersects, that is where the center of the, that's where the center of the pyramid is. Just give me a second. Let it go. Okay. So from the corners connected to the center of the top square, you'll get the square pyramid. Cuboid. Now for cuboid, draw the same thing. Draw the cube or cuboid. Sorry, freehand cylinder. Draw cube or cuboid. Okay, because cylinder's height varies, so you have to draw a cuboid if it has to be taller than the base or something like that. Okay, so what you're going to do, draw the cuboid and then draw a circle on bottom as well as on the top square and then connect them with the vertical line. Your cylinder will be ready. Next is your freehand prism. You're going to draw the cuboid and then connect these corners towards the center of your side, side squares, and then connect them with the line over here. Your prism will be ready. This is for the cone. Bottom you have a circle, and you know how to get the top center of the square by drawing a diagonal. If you connect them together, you will get your cone. Okay, now the practice 20 is going to be a little difficult. What you're going to do is basically subtraction of solids from the solid that you already know how to do a square pyramid. Now you're going to subtract it from the inside. So what you're going to do is basically create grids inside your cube and you can remove the grids outside. Subtraction has to be from the grid reference only. Okay. So here again you have variations. So here you're going to make two subtractions in practice 20. In practice 21, you're going to make three subtractions. So don't just take square pyramid, you can take any solids that we have done so far and you can do the subtractions. It's going to be a little difficult. You're going to get faculty's help for that. So basically, draw grids, make many grids if possible, and try to subtract each grid out of it, it will be very useful. Easy way to do it. Practice 22 is going to be very little difficult than the rest of the thing, but you have already solved most of the problems. You have already done the subtraction. You already know how to do a solid and everything. That you now that you have come up with so much of subtracted solids in hand, you're going to create a assemblage using 15 to 20 solids. Okay, and you're going to make a composition in isometric. So that this will be the end of your practicing month. By now, after all these exercises, your hand will only learn to follow the steps that you give it. All the best. Thank you.